What countries left you disappointed after visiting, living in, and why? Japan. My biggest culture shock was just how relationships are there. Was really hard to make friends and get past the Tateme phase. Love visiting for short trips but would never want to live there again. It can be extremely isolating. Thailand. Not one person was wearing a tie. South Africa. Xenophobic and high rates of crime. The Bahamas. Outside of the tourist areas, the place is a third world country. Big celebrities have mansions in Nassau but are protected round the clock by a team of ex-Navy SEALs. All GCC countries: Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Oppressively hot in summer. Frighteningly expensive. Stratified society. Everything appears superficial. Bigoted society where black and brown people are at the bottom of food chain. Terrible place to live as a woman. Laws are applicable based on skin tone. Denmark. To quote my traveling companion, now I know why Hamlet wanted to die. To be fair, we had just left Norway, which was celebrating its 100 years of independence from Sweden. And the people were amazing and in great spirits, free beer and food every corner in Oslo, so naturally everything and everywhere afterwards was going to be hard to compare. Paris. Walking around was like sucking the exhaust of a city bus. And they're just as rude as the stereotype. Been to about a dozen countries, and even not speaking their language, they were generally way more welcoming. India. I seriously don't understand why people even go there, and you could not pay me to go back. Literal hell on earth. Sicily. Beautiful landscape but the most hostile country I've ever been to. The only way they could convince us harder they don't want tourism is if they actively threatened us with assault rifles. Fucking bury yourself, you hostile pricks. England. The people were not my cup of tea. China. I think that all the years under the Communist Party and especially the Cultural Revolution took away any sense of taking care of others and just general decency and compassion for others that aren't directly connected to you. If there is no guangxi connection to the other person, then it seems they are content to watch others suffer and struggle rather than lend a hand. Russia. It doesn't leave you disappointed, you leave Russia disappointed. Finland. None of the people had fins. Paris, France. Way too crowded at all the popular sites, and people were rude as hell and smoked too much. America. Seattle in particular. Trash everywhere, expensive, and everyone was angry. Buenos Aires. Argentina is awful. The Argentinians are super arrogant and cliquey. Spain. People are very openly racist and think is okay. I actually have commented in a couple of subs, and seems that is quite normal that people say racist shit like is no issue. The food is not good, but maybe that is subjective, so I didn't like my couple of weeks in Spain and I am not going back, thanks. Turkey. Not a single turkey, just dogs and cats everywhere. Ruined my Thanksgiving. France. Really. Everywhere I've been in Europe, I'm disabled and wheelchair bound. The general public in those countries really did not like me. I was seen more as a nuisance. Taking extra time for the bus to lower the ramp got me a lot of nasty looks, and people bad-mouthed me under their breath. Same thing when I needed extra help getting into and out of a taxi. Andorra was a bit too small for me. Good spa though. Malta. The place wasn't very nice and the people were very rude and unhelpful. I'd always heard good things, but was very disappointed. We should take back their medal. Brazil. Brazilians are nuts. USA. I've been to San Fran, Florida and NY. Seen some very impressive stuff and really wanted to like it, but the tipping culture is insane. People rarely seem genuinely happy or genuine at all in many cases. Aside from city centers, the infrastructure is very hostile to walking and public transport is quite thin. You absolutely have to have a car to get anywhere. Even just visiting, it's hard to ignore all the much talked about social issues. The food is okay at best and the coffee is bad. Despite knowing I could maybe make absolute bank if I got a job there, I'm not keen on living there anytime soon. Ireland. I went to Dublin for part of my honeymoon and all streets smelled like piss. Lol. Morocco. I was there for 6 weeks and struggled to find any connections with the people. Felt like I was a walking bank the whole time. I traveled to a lot of poor countries, so accept that somewhat. But there it just seemed relentless. I thought maybe I was a bit unlucky, but my friend had the same experience. France. Jesus, what a shithole. The smell, rude people, trash everywhere. Everywhere. Everywhere is just another place that is new for a bit until it's not. Soul. No soul except for a few older folks. Egypt. I had expected chaos and messiness. But it's an absolute shithole filled to the brim with garbage, pollution, scams and corruption. Italy. I've been to Sicily, Toulon, and Cagliari, so I feel like I've given it a fair shake. All three left me with an unfavorable view of the Italian nation. Very dirty cities in comparison to my trips in Spain. The people in France were less dismissive and more helpful to us during our wanderings there. Italians look more than annoyed to assist us with anything. The people even in hospitality-esque businesses weren't very friendly. Just blah experience overall. All in all, Italy was high on my list to visit and ended up being a bit on the low score side compared to Spain, France and Greece. Madrid. It's just the capital of Spain? Majority of the stuff to do outside touristy things are bars and clubbing. Not really into those things. Malta. Expensive trip for an overrated small island. It was some 23 years ago. USA. So overrated, nothing special about it, people get offended easily. Canada. Cost of living is uprising high and it's insane. USA. I don't like their food, big egos and traditions based on consumption. Afghanistan. Sicily. The food was not good anywhere. People weren't mean or bad, just not friendly. Bali. Cambodia. Angkor Wat was amazing, but after just coming from Vietnam and Thailand, Cambodia. Dubai. All style, no substance. Norway. Beautiful country, but my God, the people are rude. And I've been to Paris. Israel. So much hype and so much disappointment. Germany. It's so annoying that every time I go there, I need to get some cash and carry it all the time because you never know where you won't be able to pay with a card. I fucking loved going to the 2022 F1 GP in Hungary. I did not, in fact, love visiting Hungary. Restaurants were closed so early for some reason. Hotel staff 4 stars just didn't understand English or just didn't care. Lots of illogical stuff going on in that country. All in all, just a really odd vibe. I'll definitely visit other F1 GPs. But definitely not in Hungary. At least the beer at the track was affordable and all the F1 fans there were so much fun to talk to. France. With the pickpockets, the rude people, the many poor people in poor living conditions. Canada. Expensive and underdeveloped. Mexico. It's not as nice as you think. Singapore. The people there were so rude by default. So much so that it's a pleasant surprise when someone treats you normally. The tourist spots were good. Clean and neat.